I took a look at the other verses in Mark that I had already used after Jesus finished his parables and then went into explaining. So the next verse I need to pick up now is verse 35. And the same day when the evening was come, he said to them, "Let us pass over the other side." But I already know I have to use this one verse from Matthew. And it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these parables, he departed from there. So I'll put those two together. Luke, after it mentions his family, now it came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples and said to them, "Let us go over to the other side of the lake." And they launched forth. Okay, so I can put, and they launched forth and departed from there. So what to do with now it came to pass on a certain day? I might just have to leave out a certain and just put the same day from Mark. And the same certain day. That's what I could do. On the same certain day. No, I don't know if that would work. I think I'm just going to choose the same over certain. Because on a certain day makes it seem that it could be sometime in the future. But the same day is very clear. It's definitely that day. So the certain day would be like a certain day from the point of view of the entire ministry. I don't know why he says it like that, but I'm going to go with the same day. So Luke begins, "Now it came to pass that he went into a ship with his disciples. And it came to pass." Okay, that's from Matthew. Should I say "now it came to pass" or "and it came to pass"? I use "and" for the beginning of each one of these added parables at the end. "And his disciples saying to him, declared us the parable." The next paragraph begins, "Again, the kingdom of heaven is like this." Next paragraph, "And he said to them." Next paragraph, "And he said." So I think I'm going to change it up and put "now." Now it came to pass. So now from Luke only, and then Matthew and Luke, it came to pass. On a certain day, Matthew says that when Jesus had finished these parables, he departed from there. Mark, and the same day. I'm going to have the same day when Jesus had finished these parables. The same day when Jesus had finished these parables, when the evening was come. So a bunch of explanatory mentions. Maybe I should say when Jesus had finished these parables, the same day when evening had come. Now, the same day when Jesus had finished these parables, the evening had come. Where's the added time? Is it he finished the parables then at evening, so sometime in the future he got into the boat, or when he finished the parables it is evening and he gets into the boat? This is a long day. I can understand that by this time it's now evening. So I could say, "And now it came to pass on the same day when Jesus had finished these parables and evening had come, he got into the boat." Yeah, I'll do that. "Now it came to pass on the same day when Jesus had finished these parables and evening had come." So Mark comes next. The same day. "Now it came to pass the same day." I'm going to skip that "and." I might need that "and" later. The same day. Before "when the evening was come," I'm going to put "when Jesus had finished these parables." I don't think I need the "that." It came to pass the same day that when Jesus had finished. Yeah, I don't need the "that." Just "when." Jesus had finished these parables. Now I have to say evening had come. It's on a certain day. Oh wait, on. I could say, now it came to pass on the same day. Yeah, I could say on from Luke, on the same day, on a certain day. And I'll say day is both Mark and Luke. Now it came to pass on the same day when Jesus had finished these parables, when the evening was come. I don't think I need that when twice. I want to say, now it came to pass on the same day when Jesus had finished these parables, and evening had come, that he said to them. Yeah, because it came to pass. Add some extra mentions about the timeline. What does he do? That he does this. So that's where the that needs to be. Now it came to pass on the same day when Jesus had finished his parables, and there's another mention of timing, and the evening had come. So I need an and. I could use this and from the beginning of the verse in Mark. He departed from there. Yeah, I can't use that from Matthew. Luke, came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship. So I could use that from there, but I still need an and. I might just have to use the and from the beginning of Mark. It's the only and in proximity. And now continuing with Mark, but later on in the verse, the evening was come. That he went into a ship with his disciples. That's Luke. Mark says, he said to them, let us pass over to the other side. I already used this verse, and when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. So definitely before he goes into the ship with his disciples, this is weird. Does he go into the ship and then say, let's go to the other side? And they launched? Or does he say, let's pass over to the other side, and then they go into the ship? What does Matthew say? Well, it's not in Matthew. Well, it is. It's way earlier, though. Except for he departed from there, and then all the way back in, I think, 8. When he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. This is Matthew 8:23. And his disciples followed him into the ship. So Matthew would lead one to believe that he gets into the ship, then his disciples follow him. Which means he might be in the ship and then said to them, let's go to the other side. It makes sense that he would say, let's go to the other side before they all get into the ship. Because they're all in the house at this time. He's done explaining, he's giving all the parables. I mean, he's not just going to totally silent, just get up, walk into the boat, everyone's going to follow him, and now that they're there, let's go over to the other side of the lake. That's not natural. I think he would have said, let's go to the other side, and then they're all like, alright, then they get into the ship. So it makes more sense how it's written in Mark. He said to them, let's pass over to the other side, and they took him even as he was, meaning he was exhausted or tired at the end of the day, in the ship, and there was with him other little ships. When he entered the ship, his disciples followed him. Behold, there was a great tempest in the sea. Alright, so this is going to be kind of confusing. I got to pull from 2 places in Matthew. So he departed from there. That's the last phrase in Matthew 13. He was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. Okay, so this verse 23 from Matthew 8 has to come first. He got into the ship, his disciples followed him. Then he departed in the ship. So I'm going to save this phrase, he departed from there, until after at least I put this verse. When he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. But I don't think I have to organize things according to Matthew's timeline, saying he got into the ship and his disciples followed him, because I already know Matthew's way out of order. He's just putting the story here. So Mark, he said, let's pass over to the other side, they went, even as he was, into the ship, and there were also with him other little ships. So when the evening was come, he said to them. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to say is he said, let's go, which would be combined with Luke. And he said to them, let us go to the other side. He doesn't say it in Matthew. When he entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. So definitely the invitation comes first. And he said to them, let us pass over the other side. Luke, and he said to them, let us go over the other side. And he said to them, oh, wait a minute, that. He said to them. So I'm going to use that from Luke 8:22b-a, and then go to C. Instead of and, he said to them, we're going to say that he said to them. That, now a different portion of the same verse. He said, oh wait, this is actually combined with Mark. He said to them. Mark, he said to them. So these are all the same. He said to them, let us pass over to the other side. Luke, let us go over to the other side of the lake. Okay, so because they haven't gotten into the ship yet, it kind of makes more sense if this phrase from Luke was in Mark, because in Mark it says he invites them, then they get into the ship. But I like that he's more explaining where they're going. Let us go to the other side of the lake, not just let us pass over to the other side. I'm definitely going to have of the lake. So let us is both. Let us go over to the other side or pass over to the other side. Let us go over or pass over. Let us go, let us pass. Let us go, let us pass. Passover. Maybe I should say pass. Oh no, it's not the time for Passover. Yeah, I don't think, I'm not going to put Passover because it sounds like the Feast of Passover. I'm just going to go with go. Over. Go from Luke. I don't really think there's much of a difference. I don't really have a reason, but I'm going to keep it simple. So go over to the other side. Over to the other side. That's both. Over to the other side, and Luke adds a little bit more explanation of the lake. Actually, this to the other side is in Matthew 8 as well. I didn't use that second part of the verse. He gave commandment to depart to the other side. I did use, now when Jesus saw great multitudes about him, before he went out into the boat to give the parables. But now I could include this second half of the verse. So that he, I can add with Mark and Luke. So now this he is all three. He said to them. Gave commandment, I think, is better left the way I already have it. Said to them, let us go to the other side. Because if he's going to give commandment, it wouldn't really be an invitation. I command you, let us go over. So I'm just going to leave it, let us go over, which means that I should probably also leave it as said to them from Mark and Luke. So I'm not going to use gave commandment to depart. Now go over is kind of the equivalent of depart. So I'm just going to keep over as well. To the other side, however, I can include that with Mark and Luke. So now to the other side is all three. Now I can go into that second passage from Matthew. One of his disciples said, Lord, allow me first to go and bury my father. And I'm going to put that right after he says, let's go to the other side. Before he says, and when he went into a ship, so he actually did get into the ship. After he said, let's go, and before they actually got there, I'm going to put this conversation, Matthew 8, 21 and 22. And another of his disciples said to him, Lord, allow me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. He said to them, let us go over to the other side of the lake. And another of his disciples said to him, Lord, allow me first to go and bury my father. Yeah, that fits. Now it came to pass on the same day when Jesus had finished these parables and the evening was come that he said to them, let us go over to the other side of the lake. And another of his disciples said to him, Lord, allow me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, follow me and let the dead bury their dead. And when he went into a ship, his disciples followed him. And they launched forth and departed from there. So yeah, this is pretty clear that that disciple who said that is still following him. So I do think it's either one of the 12 or one of the disciples that are still part of his inner group that he explained the things to. And it fits perfectly because 23, the very next verse, is what continues after this, when they went into a ship. Yeah, I think that's the way it needs to go.